Hello! Welcome to my progress for March. This month I tried to mainly focus on finishing an art trade from last month and starting up a whole new art trade, as well as doing some sketchbook progress. I think the main focus for this month was kind of dabbling more into digital, so let me show you what I've done in the past month. So this month I wanted to draw my OC, but more so within the universe that they're a part of. And I kind of wanted to draw it in a comic style. It took me, I believe I started this on the 1st of March, and then it took me roughly like 6 days start to finish. I did have a couple different ideas going into it, but the main thing I wanted to focus on was A, side profiles, and B, environments. I haven't drawn too many environments to begin with, so it was interesting, especially drawing them destructed and just very much like falling at the seams, or an attempt to at least. I think the piece that I kind of kept going back and forth on was the one with the mask on the desk. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to have her holding it or just had it as something that was there, so I kind of just attributed other little details from my character's personality to just kind of put into that panel. And then the last panel was more or less like her looking out into the destruction. I quite enjoyed doing these types of pieces because it also allows me to flesh out a little bit more of my OC's lore and kind of their own history within each universe. So I had a lot of fun doing this, and I definitely like more comic book style because I feel like to me it has a little bit more structure that I can follow. This next section is dedicated to art trades. In my last video, I had started an art trade with Hitachi, and there wasn't too much that I needed to finish, but this was again their piece that they drew for me, so I'll go into the rest of what I did to finish theirs. So with Hitachi's piece, I think the tail end of it I started to finish, or I was doing at the same time that I was doing the first piece of the month. So I was kind of splitting my time so I could take breaks in between. I would say I learned a lot about how to shape the face and the body just to give it like a little bit more dimension. I will say there's quite a bit of mistakes that when I look at the finished piece, I'm like, okay, I really don't like certain things about it now, but I do like the progression that I did have. I think another thing I do need to work on is just, I don't know how to explain it, but kind of like the presence as it comes up of it being a final piece. And I actually noticed this in the next piece that I did as well, is just how it's framed, how everything shows up. I don't know, it falls a little bit short. So I did try a couple environments in this piece too, which I didn't end up doing because I'd already spent quite a bit of time on this one, and I think for what it was, I did learn quite a bit, and I'm happy with my progress in it. But I enjoyed it, and I hope they do too. And then the second person I got art from was someone based off of a YouTube comment, and this was the fan art they did of my OC, and I was able to draw their OC as well. Whenever I did draw this piece, the main thing that I noticed is how much faster I was at actually kind of putting down like the blush and like the shading that I wanted to throughout. I will say again, this is kind of the final piece is kind of what I mentioned in the last one, where like the framing or the perspective wasn't really what I wanted it to be, or how it just didn't have like the presence that I was looking for. So originally this piece was supposed to be Terra from Teen Titans, but I ended up reusing the pose in this one. So in the time lapse, you'll kind of see like the remnants of that character in it. I'm kind of happy that I did reuse the pose, but I think where it started to go wrong was after I put on the rest of her hair. I think the shading and the way I was drawing her hair and kind of adding dimension didn't really fit with the rest of it, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe I should have just stuck with like the flat colors and just gone about it in that way. I attempted another like background, but it didn't really pan out, so I just kind of went for something simple. I did really enjoy how I did the eyes. I was semi-okay with like the top, but I was really happy and surprised that like how much faster I was after doing Yatashi's piece to then do someone's piece. So it's a good takeaway, but there's still quite a bit I have to learn. This next part was super impromptu. Valorant came out with a new agent and they are named Clove, and I hope their design was super cute. And I wanted to make an emote of them to put in my chat. So I just did kind of like a quick little one. I will say, as I'm learning more about digital art, I do notice that my skills with like even just smaller things definitely seem to get better, or I will say I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, because whenever I was drawing an emote of Clove, I just noticed how fluid things went as I continued to draw. Okay, so this last section will be the sketchbook tour. I did get a comment from Keeps Was Taken, and there's a couple different things that I took into consideration when drawing a couple of these, but I also did kind of go off on my own. And I did also use line of action and just kind of a culmination of things that I was doing in the past. So for the first one, it's kind of like a little detail from my OC's lore, just something from the universe that I just wanted to draw that day. And the next day, I was kind of just working on faces and just trying a different style of face, something a little bit more like, I don't know how to describe it, just anatomically correct to her face. This was a little bit more line of action. I wasn't sure about drawing the like an actual face on this one, so I just drew a ditto face on it. I know these are a little bit out of order, but I did draw some more faces, just trying to get like a sense of like what kind of style I like drawing in, and a little bit more line of action. I like these a lot because I like doing the very quick sketches for like 5 minutes and then testing my hand at the same pose for like a little bit longer, so like 15 to 20 minutes. So that was all my progress for the month of March. I already am enjoying a lot of what I've drawn so far in April. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do for the rest of this coming month and how it'll turn out in the end. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.